Hey everybody, how's it going? It's AJ, Luke, and Mike here, and we are talking to you about all of the new 2027 Polaris sleds. This is our online buyer's guide for Polaris, and before we jump into it, we want to talk about the fact that SnowCheck is only available until March 13th, and we're going to give you a quick overview of what SnowCheck is. So right away, you're going to get your 1-year warranty plus an added 2-year warranty for a total of 3 years. You're also going to get a $1,000 golden ticket, which is, in my opinion, one of the coolest things for SnowCheck. For 2028, you get $1,000 off any sled at the best deal you can find when it comes to SnowCheck for 2028. So that's pretty cool. You're going to also get $250 in Pure Polaris accessories. And then if you buy a belt and a jug of oil, they're going to give you $50 off that too. So you're prepped and ready to go for 2027's riding season with a bunch of great deals, a bunch of great parts, and some money in your pocket for 2028 should you want to buy another new sled.
And before we go any further, I just want to point one thing out that's really important. There are SnowCheck exclusive models, and then there are in-season models. You can always SnowCheck an in-season model. It is the best way to ensure that you get the exact sled you want, even if it's not a SnowCheck exclusive.
Yeah.
You also get all of these great benefits if you SnowCheck even an in-season model. 100%. So it's worth your while to book early, get that sled on the books right away, and you know you're going to get what you want. You're going to get a whole bunch of benefits.
And it only costs you $500 deposit, non-refundable, but that's what it costs you to do it up front.
So let's start with the sleds that are most relevant to us, really, and the sleds that we know our viewers are probably most interested in, and that will be the trail lineup from Polaris. And they have got a really simplified trail lineup this year. I want to point out before we get started that everything in Polaris's trail lineup for 2027 is a 137, except for the XCRs. They get a 129 option, but otherwise, they've discontinued the 129 in the trail category. So we'll just start with the Indy SP. You can get 650 or S4 engine options. All SP models come with IFP shocks. You can get a 125 ripsaw on the 650 or a 1-inch ripsaw on the S4, and they all come standard with message center display.
Yeah, and you know what? That is a great sled. We had that sled in our lineup for last season, and it was always popular.
Yep.
And those IFP shocks, like, it's not the greatest shock package in the world, but it's great on that sled and works really well.
It's an aluminum shock, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it is aluminum. It's not rebuildable, but it's
body.
So that's
preload collar.
That's better than most other manufacturers' entry-level shock.
I'm pretty sure
Really
it's
nice.
better than all other manufacturers' entry-level
So
shocks.
I mean, that's a great option, and that's a sled you could have. You can ride forever, and if you wanted to, you can always upgrade your shocks at a later time. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very economical, very price conscious. Everybody who complains about money, these sleds are great value. So
there's no difference to that 650 engine either.
No.
And that SP, it's not like there's a driveline difference and you're like, oh, I'm not getting the same performance. You're going to run with everybody else with a 650.
She's a runner.
100%. Next up, of course, is the XC lineup, and this one really takes, I would say, more than one step up. It's a pretty big jump to go to XC. You get 650, 850, or S4 engine options, and I think that XC S4 is a pretty cool sled if you're into a 4-stroke. You get 650 and 850s get the QS3 shocks. The S4 gets Polaris's TS shocks. All of them get 135 Cobra tracks, and they all come standard with the 7S display. So you're getting adjustable suspension, you're getting 7S standard. It's pretty, and you're getting an 850 option. So
and you're getting that bigger track. That Cobra track is a much nicer track.
It is for sure. So that's pretty big jump to the XC line. It's really, in my opinion, the best bang for your buck in Polaris's lineup if you're just looking for a great sled that doesn't break the bank. I'm going to move next to the Adventure because the next step up from the XC as far as just strictly trail is a pretty big jump. But the Adventure lineup is interesting as well from Polaris. You got 650 or S4 engine options, Fox QS3 shocks all the way around. The 650 gets a 125 Ice Ripper or a 135 Cobra, and the S4 gets a 135 Cobra, and 7S display again is standard across all Adventure models. In fact, 7S is standard across everything except SP models in Polaris's lineup.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so basically they're giving you a premium gauge right from like above.
And I think they're trying to integrate that like group ride experience and make it so that you get that almost no matter what. And the cool thing is too, if you buy an SP, you can upgrade to 7S down the road should you want to. It's actually not that hard, and you can watch one of our videos on it. I've done it. It's pretty easy to do. So should you buy an SP and you want to upgrade shocks or upgrade the 7S down the road, you can do that, which is
makes
cool.
a great Christmas gift for your SP owner in the
Sure
family.
it does, yeah. One thing I want to say about that Adventure is, we said the Cobra is an awesome track over the Ripsaw, but if you can get an Ice Ripper, I think we're all big fans of going
pre-studded,
stepping down from that, very small difference between a Cobra and a 125, like that 1325 or 1352, and going to the Ice Ripper. I would choose the Ice Ripper every single time. Too. It's a benefit, especially on the S4. I find that 4-stroke to be really nice with that, but I would take the Ice Ripper every time. So check that one if you're getting
There's
it.
also another obvious benefit of having the Adventure is the 2-up seat.
That's right. Yep. And I mean, that's really Polaris's main 2-up trail option is the
nice
Adventure models. Yeah. They're really nice looking. Yep, they're comfortable. They work great, and the seat is completely removable. So once it's off, you basically have an Indy XC.
Yeah, that's the truth, right? Yeah, you can just ride it as a 1-up if you want, or you have that seat on. You can adjust your QS3s real easily. Depending on the size of your rider.
And the XC and Adventure QS3. That is, I think, where a lot of the value in that sled comes from, because the Polaris IFP shocks are a decent shock, but the QS3 really is a huge step forward.
Which is why, again, going from SP to XC or SP to Adventure is such a big jump, because it's display, it's suspension, it's track options. There's a lot of benefits to moving up that one step, and really the price difference isn't that much considering what you're getting.
You can see where the value is.
Something to consider. Next, we're going to move on to XCR, and I'm skipping VR1 for a reason. We're going to end on VR1. But the XCR basically stays unchanged for 2027. You have 650 or 9R engine options. You have 137, and again, in XCR, you have a 129 track option. That's the only place you're going to get that. All of these sleds come with Walker Velocity high-low shocks, so high and low speed compression, rebound adjustability. You get 125 Ice Ripper, 135 Cobra, or 1.6 Cobra options for tracks, which is pretty neat. That 1.6 is pretty awesome on a 9R XCR. Especially in a 129, that's a wheelie monster. And then, of course, 7S is standard across the board. These sleds come with handguards and the bug deflector windshield, not windshield, the bug deflector. And they are the only models in Polaris's trail lineup that don't have an actual windshield.
Gotcha.
So something to consider there.
And you know what? The reality is Polaris is still saying that the XCR is for that hardcore, absolute, extreme trail ditch banging guy. And you know what? I respect the fact that they're sticking to that. That's what they're doing. So if you're that person, that is still the sled for you. There was no change suspension wise. It's still that stiffer, with the long tail suspension.
Long tail in the 137.
And maybe that guy doesn't want the big windshield. Maybe he's okay with
He can't. He's using all that suspension.
That's the assumption they're making, is that if you're going through bumps, you don't need wind protection. You probably want to get cooled down anyway. So that brings me to the biggest news in trail for Polaris for 2027. It's in the VR1 lineup. This year for VR1, we have a 9R option. And VR1 is actually a pretty simplified lineup, really, because you get 650, 850, or 9R now, or Boost. So you get all 4 engine options.
That's the only one you get all 4.
The only one you get, And you get Walker Velocities or Dynamics on all models are an option. Either way you want them, you can have it. The non-turbos get 125 Ice Rippers or 1.6 Cobra tracks. Again, that Ice Ripper's a nice choice, but that 6 Cobra is pretty sweet.
Yeah, you're right. It's
really
a tough call.
If you ride in areas where you get a lot of low snow conditions, then the Ice Ripper's the choice. But if you ride anywhere where you're consistently getting snow, that 1.6 Cobra.
And if you're going to stud it, you probably want to go with the Ice Ripper because it's hard. It's a lot harder to stud a 1.6 and not get bent studs.
Turbo.
I was just going to add on that topic. You've actually ridden the 27 9R with Dynamics, and I did the 650 with the Walker Evans Velocity. So the thing you have to understand, you have to remember is if you don't tick that box for Dynamics, those Walker Evans Velocities are still good. The 8 clicks of compression adjustability or Walker Evans 2.0s, that's a great shock. The advantages of Dynamics, though, are so significant.
I always tell people,
I want that.
if you can afford Dynamics, go for Dynamics because 100%. It is 100% worth it.
It's that little switch, the little switch on the toggle switch. It makes it so
Ride
easy
quality,
to
handling, stability. It's not just one thing. It's
the on-screen graphics.
Yes. Oh,
I love those. They're so cool.
I do love it. That's one
and
of
the
my
reality
things
is, you're not buying a VR1 because you're looking to spend SP level dollars. So if you're buying a VR1, you are spending more premium. You're spending premium money. Getting. Just put the Dynamics on it because you will appreciate it so much more, and get the 9R. If you're looking at a Boost, get the 9R. I mean, that's our opinion. I just think it's such an awesome motor, and it's lighter weight. It's a great motor. That is a cool
Speaking
sled.
of Boost, it gets a 1-inch ripsaw too. option.
Okay.
And
Okay.
a 1.325 Cobra option, but no pre-studded options, which is interesting.
Yeah.
The 1-inch obviously is for the guy who just wants to go really, really,
That
really
is
fast.
a lake racer.
But that wouldn't be
Trail
what I'd
polisher.
choose. The 1.325
Yeah.
Cobra is a great choice, but I think the turbo.
That's the
would-
R Cobra as well, so that
Yeah.
means that it's like it's a higher speed track. It's built for higher speed. I mean, I think the 9R will get there too, but I know the boost is.
I just find it interesting that the turbo with that much power, the biggest track you can get from the factory is a 1.325. I would have liked to have seen the 1.6 as an option as well.
or a 1.5 Ice Ripper.
A 1.5 Ice
They
Ripper
make
would have been
that.
sweet.
That's
That
a
would have
cool
been
track.
perfect, actually.
Yeah.
That track is kind of perfect. Of course, all VR1s come standard with 7S. So that's the whole Polaris Trail lineup. It's
Awesome.
It's actually very simple.
It's not the whole Polaris Trail lineup.
That is correct, AJ.
Not anymore.
Tell us
This
what
is
else
actually
exists.
we missed out on the highest
Probably
performance
the
sled
highest
of the
performance
season.
sled. No, but you can now get the Indy 200, which is awesome. Yes, it's a rebranded sled. Nobody's arguing with that, and that's because it's a great sled. But the Indy 200 is available. It's a great little package for the little rippers to get on. You feel like you're riding with the Polaris crew because it's branded just like an Indy. Has heated grips. It's got electric start. And one of the things that I didn't quite realize is you can actually register that because it is a true snowmobile.
On the last trip I was on, I met 2 guys who have registered 200s and ride with their kids every weekend.
I
That's
was
amazing.
out riding the other weekend with my daughter, going down a lake, a marked trail, and this family with our dad up front, mom at the back, and there was a 200 right in the middle ripping down the lake, and they had a trail pass on it and everything, and I was like,
So good.
wow, I haven't seen that before. That's awesome. So you can register the snowmobile. It is a real snowmobile. It is trail legal, and your little ripper can be
I'm just throwing
with
this
the crew.
out there, but it wouldn't be the worst thing ever if like a bunch of your buddies all got 200s and registered from their trail and went on
Pit
like
sleds?
rides. Just like went on a day ride with your 200s. That would
Oh,
be amazing.
man.
So I'm just throwing it
Or
out
just
there.
get a little racetrack going.
That's right,
All you
yeah.
need is 2.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got crossover sleds. So we're going to start from the bottom again and work our way up to the top. Starting with the Switchback SP. I had actually got some seat time on the 27 SP, and again, like the Indy, I actually really like it.
It's a great sled.
I'm kind of hoping we actually can get one in our lineup.
Yeah.
You know, you get the same IFP shocks. It's got the IGX 146 rear suspension. Message center display, so it's very basic, and you get a 1.6 Cobra track with that. But it's a great little trail sled.
Comes only as a 650,
good.
right?
Only as a 650. That's the only option. So yeah, that's an excellent.
If you want to get into
little value sled.
crossover, or if you want
For
the extra,
sure.
if you want the extra track length for other reasons, but you don't want to spend a ton of money, perfect choice.
High
right there.
value, later customization. If you want, you can upgrade it later, but it's a very high value snowmobile.
Yep.
Yeah, and then from there we move up to the Switchback XC, and you get the IGX rear suspension. It's got the race front end, I guess we'd call it, the 42
wide
and a
front
half inch front ski stance. It's available with the 650 or the 850 Patriot engine. And the bigger upgrade, just like in the Indy lineup, is the QS3 shocks all round, which is
Nice.
fantastic. Pro steer skis, message center display, but you can get the optional 7S. And it's also got a windshield too, the mid-smoke windshield. So that's a nice little sled. I actually had a chance to ride one last season. It was the previous year's model, and we put about 200 miles on it and just had a heck of a time. That's a great little package on that sled.
Yeah.
It's a good upgrade if you're looking at it and you're questioning, if you're new to snowmobiling or you're returning to snowmobiling and you're saying I'm looking for high value, just go SP. But if you're that guy who's like, well, I can see the benefits to XC and the dollar increase isn't really concerning you, it's just you're wondering whether you should go there, do that, and check the box for the 7S. You're going to love it. If you've never had a display like that before, you're going to love it.
And again, this is an in-season model, but the only way to get it the exact way you want
Yes.
it is to snow check, right? So yeah, if you want a 650, you're like, you know what, maybe I'll just wait and see what my dealer has. If you want the 650 or an 850, if you want to know, you better snow check. So
Yep.
that's the only way to get that. Next up, we go up from there to the Switchback Assault, and this is a snow check only model, and it's actually got some cool features because last season they introduced the 39-inch wide Escape
yeah.
front
39-inch
suspension.
narrow.
39-inch narrow.
It's actually 39 to 41 adjustable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's interesting is they call it a 39, but the truth of the matter is it's a 40 that can be adjusted down to 39 or up to 41.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that. They call it by its most narrow number, but it in the 41, it still handles decent.
It does, but you're going to notice a difference right
it's
away.
nowhere near like the race front end.
I always tell people, I'm like, if you're 70% off trail, 30% on trail, go with the narrow front end. If you're 70% on trail, 30% off trail, go with the wide front end, because you just, those are the compromises you're willing to make in those categorizations.
Right, and then the race front end gets the Pro Steer skis. You get different skis, you know, in the 39 you get the grippers, so it is equipped for off trail, and there's a different shock package with the Walker Evans on both of them. So, and I didn't mention it, but that sled is available with the Boost, the 850, and the 9R, of course. So there's lots of options available there. And again, the only way you're going to get exactly what you want is by SnowCheck.
Actually, the only way you're going to get it is SnowCheck.
That's
the Assault is 100% SnowCheck.
That's true.
Yeah. So and it's a great sled. With the wider front end, the race front end is wide, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I spent a whole week on this thing.
I get confused
just
with
this
their
past
naming.
week, and honestly, I'd forgotten how good the Assault is on the trail.
It's so good.
It's friggin' awesome.
It won Softy 2 seasons ago, I think. Yeah,
It's won Softy a couple of times
Yeah.
over the years, and in this
Absolutely.
iteration, it is real good. It's real nice.
Polaris asked us at the last media intro, what should we change on the Assault? And I think all of us at the same time went, nothing, don't touch it.
Don't mess with this, please.
Yeah.
And there we have.
Did you say you can get it with a 9R?
You can get it with the 9R,
that's right. Yeah, we've had it with
the
the 9R.
850, and the Boost. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had it with the 9R.
That is like my ultimate. If from Polaris, if I'm buying one snowmobile to do everything with, I'm buying the race front end, Assault, 9R, 7S, obviously it comes with it. But that's my snowmobile of choice. If I'm picking one Polaris sled that I have to ride forever, it's going to be that one.
I kind of feel like any of us who were custom ordering would just get a 9R in anything if it
we
was
would.
available.
Yeah, there's no question.
There's not even a question.
No, I just ordered. They should have a box
9R.
that's like, do you just want an extra 9R engine just to have around? Like, just put it on your shelf or
What
something?
sled would you like to build around your 9R?
All right, so next we have the Voyageur lineup, and this is a little bit simplified this year for track length. It's the sport utility line from Polaris. All Voyageurs are available in S4 or 650. You can't get any other engine option, and you can get all of them in S4 or 650. Everything is 155 except the SP, which you can get in a 146, but it's the only version of it you can get in a 146. And I mean, the hallmark standouts that everything gets is smart warmers and the shiftable transmission with what has it got? It's got forward, neutral, and reverse. So it isn't a high-low neutral reverse. It's forwards, neutral, and reverse, but it's shiftable transmission. So you got that durability for doing some of those, backwoods, property, hauling, just those utility things. But it is sport utility. It's not full utility. Lineup starts at SP. It's great value. It's got that same perimeter, which I'm surprised on the SP at the base level. They keep that nice aluminum perimeter frame on the back of the sled, which really is the starting point for any accessories and for doing some utility
And
work.
it's why you're going to buy this sled, is to get a
100%.
rack. Sure. Without the rack, it's kind of just an Assault narrow.
Yeah.
Like, really, I mean, when you think about it, I want the rack.
Yeah.
It's funny, we always start off with the SP in this lineup, but the SPs are all amazing value
Very
sleds.
amazing.
If I'm not mistaken, the SP146 Voyageur uses the IGX 146 skid frame from the Assault.
I believe so. It's not a backtrack 146.
It's not a backtrack. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of them also have the backtrack 15 skid, which has that articulating rear rail. It backs up over just about anything, and it's a great rear suspension to be able to do that utility work where you are backing up in the forest. You get yourself into some trees. You're like, oh no, what do I do? Most trail sleds aren't going to go backwards in deep snow. This one will. So that SP doesn't have a 2-up seat. It's 1-up from the factory, but you can put the 2-up optional seat on there. It clips right on. It's easy to install. And then all of them also have the underhood radiator, which is really important. So you're going to be able to keep that engine cool when you're doing low speed work. You're grunting it. You're using that transmission for what it's
Low
intended.
snow conditions.
Yep, low snow conditions. So it's going to keep the sled cool. And then SP, same as all the other SPs, it's got Polaris IFP shocks. So aluminum body, threaded preload. Probably important if you're that guy who's off trail a lot and doing that utility work in the back of your property. Sometimes you're not looking for the best on-trail performance when you're doing utility work, so you can crank those preload adjusters up, get those skis pushed out there, and help when you're, hauling a heavy load, or you're just looking for a little bit more, proud clearance up front with the skis staying strong. So that's the SP. We move up to Adventure, and Adventure gets the 2-up seat from the factory. It also gets Fox QS3s on the rear track shock only. So you still have IFPs everywhere else, but
Front
rear
and
track
center,
shock.
and then the rear is a QS3.
Rear only is a QS3, so that's your step up into the Adventure line, but really you're buying the Adventure to get the 2-up seat. That's, I think,
We had one of those this year.
Yeah, great sled.
In our 2026 lineup, rather. And it had a 2-up seat, and it got a lot of use. People really liked it. It's a narrow front end, but it still handles pretty good.
Yep.
And it was a great sled to have around the yard.
I think those articulating rear suspensions, the BackTrack 15 and the BackTrack 20, I think they work great.
do.
They're awesome for backing up, and the narrower track on that is awesome if you're carving through the trees and getting back to get fired
And it
with
rides
that kind
really
of
good
stuff.
too. The BackTrack rides really well.
It
It's
does.
not bad.
Smooth skid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very close. Obviously, 2-up seat can come off that sled, and you can go back to 1-up and look like one of the boys. So that's cool. Moving up, we go to Adventure Ultimate, and this is where you keep the 2-up seat still because Adventure really means 2-up seat. You get the 7S display. No matter what, no matter how you spec it. QS3 is on the rear track shock, and then you do have an option of a 1.6 or a 2-inch track. So if you're that guy who's saying, hey, I need a little more off-trail capability, you're going 2-inch. If you don't, you're going 1.6. I mean, the 2-inch on trail is not the greatest,
It's
but
the maximum you want to go.
you
for
don't
on
want to
trail
go
use.
past there, and you're going to be riding at the back of the group because it does throw a bit of a rooster tail. But that's your options when you go to Ultimate. So
Yeah, I think if you're picking that sled, you know what you're using it mostly for.
100%.
If you're picking through the woods or just riding in the fluff, getting off trail a lot, then 2.0 works.
And again,
That's what you want.
If you want that 2.0, because your dealer in a lot of regions is going to spec that with a 1.6, if you want that 2.0, make sure you spring check it because that's the only way you're going to be sure that you, or snow check it, that's the only way you're going to be sure you get it. So final level, highest level, top of the top is a new one for this year, which is the Voyageur Nordic Pro. This used to be like Scandinavia only, but this year they brought it to North America, and it's pretty cool. It doesn't have the 2-up seat, but it's obviously something you can get as an accessory and bolt right on or clip right on. It keeps the rear perimeter frame. It has 7S standard, but here's where the big update is. Fox QS3s all the way around, both track shocks, both front shocks.
That's a huge value.
That is a
update
big
on
value.
that, for
Yeah.
sure.
This thing is built to be the ultimate sport utility sled with ultimate performance, and truthfully, I really do think those front ski shocks go into QS3. They make it, like if you're that guy who's going to be like, hey, this thing is sport utility. I want to do as much sport as I want to do utility. This is the sled for you for sure, because those front ski shocks really do change the handling of this sled. Those QS3s make it a lot better, and when you're out ripping, you can keep up with some pretty short track, fast-paced people
It's
on this
just
snowmobile.
overall a more pleasant sled to ride with the adjustable suspension. It's just overall better. If you want to do utility, you can crank them up to keep them stiff so it doesn't, roll or whatever, keeps everything out. Or you can soften them right up for trail riding if you want to be super comfy.
It's one of the coolest benefits of the QS3. It's so oversimplified, but provides a ton of adjustability, useful adjustability.
The capacity there too, with that extra oil volume, changing where the internal floating piston is and just doing that, it really does help that shock to keep that front of that sled settled down in a really nice way. And then one of the things, you can get this snowmobile in black, but you should spec it in Velocity Blue because it looks so darn good in that
cool,
triple color blue, black, gray color. It's awesome looking.
It does look good.
That's going to be the hallmark standout seller for me.
I think a lot of guys default to black sleds. They're just like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to. But man, I want to stand out. It's you know what I mean?
Mix it up.
Yeah.
And that Velocity Blue is a great color.
It is. It looks really nice on the snow.
Which there's another option of those, but we'll talk about that in a minute with Mike, I think.
Next up, we've got our WideTrack offerings in the Titan lineup. So very similar to the Voyageur lineup.
Yeah.
We start from the bottom, and the features are. Actually, the offerings for each of them are very similar, except 20-inch wide. So, but let's pick through them, and we'll talk about this because AJ did get some seat time on one of them this year. So, first off, right at the bottom, we've got the value intro level with the Titan SP, which is great value. So it comes with the Patriot 650, has the IFP shocks, message center display, and it gets the BackTrack 20 articulating rear suspension.
Yeah.
So you get that flotation of the wide track, but when you throw this thing in reverse, it gets up on top of the snow and does a great job doing that. So
Really good job.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a 20-inch wide by 155, and it gets a 1.5 Cobra track.
Does that has IFPs on it as well, right?
It does
So
have
there's
IFPs
yep.
all the way around. So you've got an aluminum body, non-rebuildable shock. But again, I kind of feel like if you need this, if you're looking for a value line utility, sport utility sled, 20-inch wide. This is a decent option. You can
Yeah.
have this around forever. And if you ever wanted to upgrade your shocks,
And
you
it's
can
got
always
that
do
shiftable transmission.
It
With
does
low-
have the
with low
shiftable
range.
With low range.
And it
high,
also
low,
has
neutral,
arched
and
arms.
reverse shiftable transmission, which is
And the arched arms for better clearance when you're out in the
right.
trees. So the Titan really is,
It pulls its weight.
it sure does.
we're going to insert a golf clap there.
Yeah.
The other great thing is it has a big windshield on it too, which
very
is
big
awesome.
windshield.
So I respect that.
Stay warm.
Next up from there, we get the Titan Adventure, and this is actually available with the ProStar S4 or the 650. You get your IFPs, your front and center shocks, and then the rear shock gets that QS3 adjustable shock. So again, if you're doing any work utility, you can crank it up to full stiff and do
Adventure
that,
means
or back
2-up
it
seat,
right
right?
off. It does. That's the
Yeah.
other thing you get is the Titan 2-up seats included. The rear rack capacity is 125 pounds. Message center display or accessory 7S. Cool. So you can get that after if you wanted. Backtrack 20 articulating rear suspension, like I said, high clearance IFS, trail breaker skis, and again, you get that Cobra track.
And all of these Titans have the underhood rad, correct?
Correct.
Cool. So they're staying cool.
The
as well.
Titan Adventure is a weird snowmobile because it's actually super comfortable for the passenger. Like it is ridiculously comfortable as a 2-up sled.
Oh, I mean, we've had 20-inch wides as our 2-up sleds, and like we've all taken family members out on them for rides.
I
And it's
actually
great.
really like them.
Yeah.
I like them a
They
lot.
work good.
They do, and they hook up like crazy.
Maybe all those people who are riding utility sleds as trail sleds in Quebec actually do something we didn't.
Wait, are they onto
they
something?
did.
No, couldn't be.
Hey, they made poutine. They must be onto something.
That's true, they do. Next up from there, we go to the Titan Adventure Ultimate. And I actually did the test ride on this for 26, the 26 model,
Yes.
and it's a great sled. Again, you're available with the ProStar S4 or the Patriot 850.
No 650 option.
No 650 option for this one, but it does get the standard 7S. It's available in black or that Velocity Blue, which is real slick. 1.5 or 1.8 Cobra track options.
Yep.
Titan 2-up seat, obviously. A massive rear cargo box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
huge.
which is just so handy if you're doing any, like we just said, we're getting these as 2-up sleds for touring, and you have that.
The last time I
capacity in
opened
there.
one of those boxes and looked inside, it was actually they were filming Fraggle Rock. in
Yeah,
there.
oh for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just dated yourself
You just-
so bad.
People who buy this sled know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly. So you have your IFPs front and center, and then again, it's the QS3 as your rear shock. So you have that adjustability if you're using utility functionality, or if you're carrying a passenger, depending on the size of the rider, or cargo in the box.
Yeah. And our only complaint with that sled last year was we'd really like QS3s up front on this. That's the only complaint.
Yeah. So
Segue.
Boom, there we go. So our new model for this year is the Titan Nordic Pro 155. Again, this is built tough for the Nordic countries, as Polaris puts it, and it's available with the ProStar S4 or the Patriot 850. And like AJ said, it's QS3s all around finally, which is just such a huge upgrade for that sled.
Big time.
Yep. Available with in black or Velocity Blue. 1.8 Cobra track. There is no 2-up seat, but it does have the cargo racks. So it doesn't have the big box or the cargo seat, but it does have rack capacity for
And you can
storing.
add the seat and the cargo box after the fact.
Absolutely, you
so.
can. Absolutely, you can. And so that is a great sled. And again, one thing I didn't touch on, but you do have that rear utility work light available on these
Oh
sleds.
yes, yeah.
And
It's built into the rear. It's in the rear brake light. The middle white portion is kind of like your pickup truck box, high third
bed
brake
light.
light.
Yeah.
Now everybody has a bed light in it that's super bright. Polaris did the exact same thing.
If it's early in the morning or late in the evening, and you're trying to hook up a trailer or bring anything back from from the ice fishing hut at the end of the day, having that rear work light is awesome.
Even if
You
you're
hook
just trying to
everything up
work something
perfectly.
like on the ground, you're trying to do some maybe a trapper or
a great
like you're
point.
gathering up fish or whatever you're doing, you just back the sled up, turn the light on, you got light.
Yeah.
You know,
Pretty handy.
Pretty handy.
And Polaris has pretty cool accessory like mountable, angleable spotlight lights that you can put on the back of that sled as well, which are another great option as an accessory. And if you snow check, your $250 accessories can go towards that if you want.
There you go.
Now, I tested this sled in an S4, and I was actually very impressed with it. I thought it was a great snowmobile. Those QS3s up front, totally settle everything down. You got to remember, this is a big snowmobile. That S4 is a heavy engine. I really think with the S4, going to the Nordic Pro is a great idea if you have the budget to do it. If you don't, you're not going to be upset with Polaris IFPs up front. But if you have that extra budget, it really does make that snowmobile work exceptionally well up front.
Does. Yeah.
Through the corners, in the turns, and the twisties, you're like, yeah, but this is a 20-inch WIDETRAK 155. This thing can't trail ride. Oh yeah, it can. You can trail ride the snowmobile, and you can keep up with some pretty good, trail speed. You can have a lot of fun. You can really enjoy it, and those QS3s make the front end just so much better. So I really find the Nordic Pro to be, I know we say this all the time, the highest level sled is always our pick, but I really think that this is in Titan lineup where you want to be if you have that extra little budget to say, you know what, I just want to get the best, do this because you will be happy.
Suspension upgrades make snowmobiles better. That's just all there is to it. That's why as you go up in levels, we tend to praise the sleds more and more, because as the suspension quality gets better, the overall riding experience gets better. That's not to say you can't have a great ride with the cheaper suspension options, but there's no doubt that when you get better suspension options, everything gets better about riding a snowmobile.
Absolutely.
So,
If you're the guy who's not going to trail ride your Titan at all, you don't need to buy a Nordic Pro. There's no benefit. You can go to an SP and you're going to be super happy. If you just want that long-term, super reliable, super durable, work it every day, and it comes back and 5 years from now we look at it and we're like, whoa, that thing looks destroyed. Go buy an SP because you're going to love that sled if you're using it and working it every day. You don't need that suspension. You don't need the 2-up seat. You don't need all the extras. But if you're the guy who's like, well, I'd really like to go out and go for a ride with it, and I don't want to buy 2 snowmobiles, the Nordic Pro is the ultimate here.
It is, yeah. The last category is mountain, and of course this is a huge one for Polaris. It's not so big for us because we are on the east coast of Canada. We don't have mountains, so it's not something that we encounter all the time, but we do ride the mountain sleds, and we have ridden most of them on this list. But for Polaris, it's huge. We in the east don't really understand how big the mountain segment is. In the mountains, they sure do, though.
I think we have an appreciation for it, but this is exciting stuff.
It is, it is.
For mountain guys.
So I'm just going to go through the lineup, and the lineup follows very similar patterns to everything else. Before I get started, I just want to say that all Polaris mountain sleds, every one of them gets quick drive 2, so the belt drive system, and every Polaris mountain sled comes with the 5-inch Pro Taper bars, including the base models. So there's kind of nice upgrades on all of the sleds. When you start with the SP RMK, you get 650 and 850 engine options. You can choose with or without electric start. You get a 155 only, and it only comes with the Series 8 275 lug track across all models, Polaris IFP shocks, and message center gauge. So again, we've said it over and over and over, the SP line is your entry level. Just get into the sport. In this case, you can get an 850. It's a totally 100% capable mountain sled, 155, 275 lug. This will go almost anywhere any other sled will go. You're just spending a lot less money doing it. So.
And the crazy thing is that these snowmobiles at SP level with a 275, 155, you are going to go more places than like a 5-year-old premium, high-end, highest level mountain sled would have gone. So these are not...
This is latest technology, just without all the bells and whistles. That's
crazy capable.
Yeah.
And available at your dealer.
And
you don't
available
have to spring
in
check
season.
this. Dealer's going to have this.
The SP is available in season. The SPS is also available in season, which we're going to talk about next, is a new model.
SPS.
So, yes, instead of having an RMK XC, like we've had everywhere else, because XC tends to stand for cross country, so it doesn't really make any sense. They have come out with an RMK SPS, and that is to bridge the gap between SP and moving to like a Pro RMK. It is 859R. It comes with or without electric start, depending on your choice. You can get 146, 155, 165 track options. Series 8 275 lug for the 155, 165s, and a Series 6 2.6 lug on the 146. Polaris IFP shocks, but 7S standard. So there's some upgrades here. You get a 9R option. This sled, 9R
would be cool.
9R, 7S display. There's so little that you would need to do this sled to be right with any of the pro mountain riders. Like, there's almost nothing you need to do. It'll go.
A 9R SPS 146 with a 2.6 would be a wild sled.
That's
that
crazy.
would be cool.
Yeah, that would
Very
be a wheelie
cool.
monster.
Yeah. So this stands for like SP Special.
Yes. Yeah, it's just one step above an SP, gives you
But
some
it's
of
in
the,
season.
But it's an in-season model.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
so
totally stock
but if
in
you
season.
want it with that 146 2.6, you better snow check because you're not going to get it
Though
otherwise.
I got to think dealers are going to be ordering some of those.
Yeah, there might be
those
some
are
of that.
but
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
kind of like your budget Chaos almost, right?
Well, no,
it
the
isn't.
Chaos is actually quite a bit different. So both the SP and the SPS have The Pro
But
RMK rear
the
suspension.
26146 though is like a
Well,
that's
we're
like
gonna
a
get there.
chaos.
We're gonna
thing.
get there. We're gonna get there.
Inform me, Luke.
Stop fighting,
But
guys.
you
Jeez.
did point something out that's important. Is the SP and the SPS both have the Pro RMK rear suspension? So it's the same as the Pro RMK. Okay, it's the same thing.
Okay.
When we get into Chaos and then the other new model in the lineup, they are different rear suspensions. So that's where we're going to move next. We're going to go to the Chaos Snow Check only, all models. This gets the Chaos rear suspension, which is one of the reasons the Chaos handles and feels so much different than a Pro. Is the rear suspension design, and it is a lot more fun, wheelies, playful. It's kind of like your Hucker going off jumps, like whatever you want to do, backflips, all that kind of fun stuff. You get booster 9R only. Electric starts available as an option. You do get 146, 155, 165 track lengths. Again, the 155, 165s come in a 275 Series 8 or a 325 Series 9.
325.
The 146 comes in a 2-inch crossover, which is very interesting, or a 2.6 Series 6. So the 146 in this case, especially with the 2-inch, is kind of like a replacement for the SKS that people really, really loved. They're just simplifying things by putting it into the Chaos platform. Of course, the Chaos comes with a bunch of other goodies that we all know and love. Chaos comes with walker velocity high-lows. So these are top-of-the-line walker velocities, 7S standard, and they also all get an HD rear bumper. So that's something you get with the Chaos. Again, snow check only. Now we're going to move on to the new model in Polaris's mountain lineup, and it's very interesting that this sled is designed to bridge the gap between Chaos and Pro RMK. So it's designed to still be quite playful, but also be really precise in the trees. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's called the RMK Factory Edition. It is snow check only. It has what they're calling factory HD rear suspension, so it's stiffened rails actually from their race sled, their hill climb race sled.
I think it's 40% stiffer.
40% stiffer, yeah, it's pretty impressive. Booster 9R engine options, electric start is optional. It only comes as 155. There are no other options there. 275 Series 8, 325 Series 9 track options. Walker Velocity high-low factory shocks, so they are the top. These are actually the best non-dynamic shocks in Polaris's entire lineup are these shocks right here.
I think they actually label it as gooder.
Gooder. And of course 7S is standard, but this sled fits in between the Chaos and the Pro RMK, but it's designed to be like hill climbable. It's designed to be, you can
It's
be
super
on
cool
this
looking
thing.
too.
It
It's
is.
got
It's got nice
all the
graphics
branding,
packaging
like,
on it too. Yeah,
It
Yeah,
looks
it's
really,
got factory
really nice.
pipe. It's got all the cool logos. It looks very racy.
It does. It's almost like the XCR of the RMK line.
100. I think that's exactly right.
Yeah,
great way to put
yeah,
it.
really cool sled. Now, of course, we end on the Pro RMK. This is again a snow check only model. You get boost or 9R engine options. Electric start is optional. 155, 165 track lengths. There are no 146s. 275 Series 8, 325 Series 9 track options. This sled gets the Walker Evans light / velocity shock combination. So there are light shocks up front. They have no piggybacks. They're threaded bodies, but they are really, really high quality shocks. And in the back, you do get velocities in back.
And this is the most capable, most potent, big mountain.
This is your tree sled. This is your Chris Barant sled. This is like if you want the ultimate in precise handling mountain sled to go exactly where you point it, keep the skis down,
Super lightweight
and
still.
go where you want to go, super lightweight. The Pro RMK is the one for you, and it comes, of course, with 7S standards. So Chaos, RMK Factory, and then Pro RMK. Those are three not better or worse sleds.
Different.
They are just equally as cool for different types of riders.
Yeah, for what you're doing.
Yeah,
Which is great because they're offering options for very specific, tailored to very specific disciplines,
And
which is great.
As we've seen in the mountains, the type of riding people do in the mountains now has become so specific, and and each type of mountain riding is so different now. It used to be that you went in the mountains and you just rode in the mountains. Now you go to the mountains to do different things, and they have a sled for each of those purposes, which is
awesome.
really, really good. So, again, this brings us to the end of our Polaris Buyer's Guide lineup. But we do want to reiterate something before we close, something we talked about in the beginning, but we want to make sure you guys remember it.
Yeah, so snow check for 2027. Let's keep in mind that it ends March 13th. So you got to get your order in, whether it be for that sled that is snow check only, or if it's one of the other sleds that you're like, well, I just want to make sure I get that track option. Go in and put your $500 down. It's not a big deal, and you're still, even on a sled that isn't snow check only, you're still going to get all the benefits. And those benefits are a 3-year warranty right from the factory. That's huge. That's a really big benefit, and that's worth a lot of money. You're also going to get your $1,000 golden ticket, which will give you the opportunity to get $1,000 off next year's sled at SnowCheck time. So that's pretty cool. You're going to get $250 in accessories. You can buy that work light for the back of your Titan. You can buy a different windshield. You can do whatever you want with that as long as it's Polaris accessories. And then $50 off if you buy a new belt for your sled and some oil. And that's pretty great because it'll get you set up for the season. So just remember, you only get to go until March 13th, 2026. That's the end of SnowCheck for this year. And after that, you will be out of luck. So make sure you get to your dealer, go online, put your $500 down, and get your sled. There's also some great financing options, but you can look that up and find out exactly what it is. But get to your dealership, go online to Polaris, and SnowCheck the sled that you want for 2027.
Make sure to subscribe and comment below for real interaction with the SnowTrax crew.